As my grandmother says, age brings about a change. And that's true for anybody who's aging. I woke up this morning and my side was hurting. I don't know why. That's because I'm not that young anymore. And of course, this happens in any career, even for careers that are more intellectually based than physically based. Obviously, football players, carpenters have a shorter lifetime than a lawyer, doctor, or a senator. But Joe Biden's political career will be over soon. And it's not because he wants it to be over. It's because of, well, things like this.
Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket.
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
That's right. Joe Biden referred to Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump. Now he is looking very feeble, especially in the debate he had not too long ago. He did so poorly that Barack Obama said, "Bad debate nights happen. Trust me, I know. But this election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who cares only about himself. Between someone who tells the truth, who knows right from wrong, and will give it to the American people straight, and someone who lies through his teeth for his own benefit. Last night didn't change that, and it's why so much is at stake in November." JoeBiden.com. Fast forward. But after that, people really didn't believe in Joe Biden's ability to win the presidency. They didn't believe it at all. And that's why you had speculations like this coming out.
Multiple Democratic sources, this is happening all of a sudden. Everyone said it would happen gradually and then all at once, and that's what's happening. According to my sources, President Biden has agreed to step down as the Democratic nominee.
Oh, man.
It will happen as early as this weekend. A speech has been drafted for him. He will continue on as president, is his intention. He also will not, I'm told, endorse Vice President Harris as his successor. They're hoping that he will endorse an open process in which the convention will be open to Vice President Harris and a few other candidates in Chicago to pick the Democratic nominee for president. The belief is that Vice President Harris is already looking at potential running mates to go to Chicago with a full ticket, including one possibility, Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, and perhaps the governor of Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro. Other possible candidates who are being talked about include Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, perhaps Gretchen Whitmer, and again, the vice president running. On the first ballot, the regular delegates would be allowed to vote under this agreement that's being talked about amongst the president and high-level Democratic officials. The regular delegates would vote on the first ballot. If there is no winner on the first ballot, the so-called super delegates would be allowed to vote on the subsequent ballot. This decision was reached, I'm told, all of a sudden because of the high-level pressure from Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, and others, and as well as the decision of many of President Biden's top aides that there was no path forward for him, that he would not be able to win this election, win the general election. And
when this came out, nobody really believed this because it was speculation. But I kind of had a hunch that people didn't believe that Joe Biden could win, especially Barack Obama. Barack Obama, who is the former president of the United States, holds a lot of power in the Democratic Party, and he wanted Joe Biden out. He knew that Joe Biden could not defeat Donald Trump, especially with bad blunders.
And one thing does change. It's not an excuse and explanation. I would ordinarily be going through black neighborhoods on the foot, working through the neighborhoods. I have a tradition. I close every campaign, no matter what campaign, going into the projects and going down the east side. And, hey, Joe, well, how you doing? Everybody, well, just because they're my friends, let them know I'm still there. We can't do that now. Not because of the black community, because it's too dangerous for me to be out walking unaccompanied.
And of course, at that point, we found out that Joe Biden would no longer be running for president.
President Biden has just announced that he is ending his reelection bid. Just moments ago, the president tweeted out, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek reelection, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision." There are still so many questions yet to be decided and so little time before those questions need to be figured out. So I want to go right away to our chief Washington correspondent John Carl. John, we are just 100 days out from the November election. Pressure was building on the president to step aside. Now he is announcing that he has.
Rachel, it's an extraordinary moment in American history. This is the first time we have seen a sitting president bow out of reelection since Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1968.
But then at that same point, Joe Biden nominated his vice president, Kamala Harris, which was something the Newsmax clip felt that wouldn't happen. They felt that Joe Biden would not pick Kamala Harris. He would pick somebody else. But he did, in fact, nominate Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris stated this: "On behalf of the American people, I thank Joe Biden for his extraordinary leadership as President of the United States and for his decades of service to our country. I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." That's exactly what she said. But that's not the entire story. Now, just because somebody's in the same political party, it doesn't mean that they all get along or they believe in each other's abilities. That's not the case. There is friction amongst Democrats, a lot. While Republicans are uniting behind Donald Trump, the Democrats are falling apart. And at the Democratic National Convention, in my honest opinion, they will have no shot to win this. Donald Trump has this in the bag. But Barack Obama didn't make things better. He released this statement on Twitter: "Joe Biden has been one of America's most consequential presidents, as well as a dear friend and partner to me. Today, we've also been reminded again that he's a patriot of the highest order. Here's my full statement." So I only want to focus on one part of this statement. We will be navigating uncharted waters in the days ahead, but I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges. I believe that Joe Biden's vision of a generous, prosperous, and united America that provides opportunity for everyone will be on full display at the Democratic Convention in August, and I expect that every single one of us are prepared to carry that message of hope and progress forward into November and beyond. Let's go back to the nominee emerges statement. Now, you know that Barack Obama is well respected in the Democratic Party. If he could run for a third time, he would probably beat Trump, or at least give Trump a run for his money, but he can't. He's already served 2 terms. But Barack Obama does not endorse Kamala Harris. He says, "I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges," which isn't Kamala Harris. Now, this is very interesting, guys. Why doesn't Barack Obama believe in Kamala Harris? He knew the whole time that Joe Biden would do this because he's the one telling Joe Biden he needs to step aside. He knew that Joe Biden would select Kamala Harris as a running mate. So why would he make this statement today? I don't know. And it's probably going to be kept behind closed doors because they're trying to unify the party. Even though he's disagreeing, he's still making the statement supporting whoever the nominee is, although he is not endorsing the nominee. Well, then what's happening? Still don't know. But I do know this. When Kamala Harris was asked about reparations, she had this to say.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Here's something interesting, guys. I'm also in agreement with Barack Obama that Kamala Harris isn't the lady for the job. But it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't trust her political ability, which I pretty much don't, or that she's a woman, or that she's married to a white man. I've been seeing those arguments from other people, and to be honest, I don't care about any of that. I care about what you intend to do for the black community. And she said it right there. She is not going to help you when it comes to reparations. Now, this is interesting. Kamala Harris graduated from where? Howard University, an HBCU. A woman herself who is half white, half Jamaican ancestry, or half Indian, half Jamaican ancestry. How to get that straight? She doesn't believe in reparations for the African American community. When you understand the plight of African Americans going to an HBCU, that's interesting to me. And I hope that people understand that. You see, Joe Biden nor Kamala Harris care about you. And neither does Barack Obama. Barack Obama had plenty of opportunities to push African Americans forward. He didn't. He pushed everybody else forward. Asians, LGBTQ, everyone else got ahead. The only thing that we got was Obamacare, which is what Americans got. But all we got as an incentivized African American base was nothing else but more depleting standards and still going towards the bottom of the totem pole in the United States of America. And that will be certain to continue with Kamala Harris. And so I know you don't like it, but here's what I'm saying. I'm voting for Trump! Trump!